guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you are new. My name is Allie. I'm currently 39 weeks pregnant with baby girl, but I'm covering my 38-week bump date, and this one's gonna be a little different than my normal ones because not much has changed from 37 to 38 weeks. My wedding ring still fits. I have the same stretch marks. I'm still wearing maternity clothes. Like, nothing really has changed, but 38 weeks was a crazy week for us. We ended up going into labor and delivery twice to get baby monitored and to kind of see how everything was going. I am dilated a lot farther than I ever expected to be, and everything is just different than what I was thinking it was going to be. So I'm going to share more of a story time for my 38 weeks and kind of go over the whole 38 week. Rather than answering the questions. So to start off, I had my 37-week appointment when I was like 37 weeks and 4 days, and they were supposed to check my cervix, see if I was dilated or effaced, and he ended up not doing it. My doctor didn't do it, which is totally fine, but he said everything looks, you know, great, she sounds great, feels great, whatever. So we left the doctor's office, and that was on like a Thursday, I think. Didn't really think anything of it. They kind of explained like what I was feeling, that they were contractions, that this was a more intense type of contraction. I was getting little zings like down in my pelvis and like the lower part of my stomach. And they said that's her pushing her head on my cervix and like, you know, getting it ready. So hearing all of those things and learning all those things, I then was more aware of like what was going on, what I was feeling, and what it all meant. So Sunday arrives and we just went to church, did our normal thing. I was feeling some contractions, but I hadn't felt Oakland move very much. So it's about 6 o'clock and we really started like watching and seeing if I could feel her move. And I was drinking some Gatorade, laying on my side, getting up and walking around, and we still weren't feeling her move. But we had a family dinner to celebrate my brother-in-law because he just qualified to run in the Boston Marathon, and so we were going over to my mom's house anyways. I knew that there'd be like sugary foods and things like that, so we would try it there. Because I was still feeling contractions, and I could still, like, when I was having a contraction, I could feel her feet move, but she wasn't moving other than when my stomach was getting really tight. And so by the time we went over to my mom's house, it was like 6:30, and at that point we really just hadn't felt her move. Like from 6:30 on, even when contractions were happening, I really just didn't feel her, and maybe I was just less aware, or the contractions felt different, so I wasn't sure. But she just wasn't moving, so I called labor and delivery, and they said drink something very cold and very sugary. If you don't get moves in like 15 minutes, just come in and see us. Let's just monitor, make sure she's okay. So I said, great. They said, your contractions, I told them that they were lasting a minute and they were about 4 minutes apart, but they were not painful. And they said, okay, that alone won't bring you in, but have you felt her move? I told them no, told them what had gone on. They made sure that I came in 15 minutes or so if I didn't feel her move. So we ate dinner with my family, and we ate super fast, and I drank a really cold Gatorade and had a sugar cookie, had some bites of cake, ate like normal dinner, put my hands on my belly, and I still couldn't feel her move. So we drove like the 25 minutes, 30 minutes to my hospital, went up to triage. They hooked us up to the monitors, which was all the pictures were in the last vlog, and started monitoring her. I had contractions every 5 minutes that were pretty good. They weren't like super painful, but my nurse told me that they can either feel like the tip of your nose, like squishy, but some hard, the tip of your chin, which is like some squish, some hard, or your forehead, which is just all hard, and you're like super in labor. So they were all about my chin. Some of them were my nose, but like most of them felt like, you know, the squishiness of your chin. And so we stayed there for about an hour. Her heart rate was rising and falling as it should, and they're like, she's just running out of room, but if she doesn't move again, come in. Like, this is, we definitely need to check that, but she is fine. She's moving, she's breathing, everything's good. So fast forward to Tuesday, and back up. She then checked me, which is the first time I had ever been checked, and she said I was 60 to 70% effaced and 3 centimeters dilated, and that was at like 38 weeks and 2 days. So then fast forward to Tuesday, I was sitting at work and you know, everything was normal. I was still having some contractions, like 5 minutes apart, 7 minutes apart, 10 minutes apart, but they still weren't very painful. But then a little like 30 minutes didn't hit me where I was just like sitting in my chair and I was just like, this sucks. Like, it wasn't super painful, but I had to like just like stop and just like compose myself, you know, like just sit there for a couple minutes. Like, it just wasn't comfortable. And so I ended up calling my doctor's office and my doctor's nurses because I had an appointment 2 hours later. This was like 12:30, 1 o'clock. So I had an appointment at 3. And I called and I said, hey, I've been monitoring for 30 minutes. They're about 4 minutes apart now. A little bit more painful than before. And I just wanted to make sure, like, do you want me to monitor for 30 more minutes and then call you, like do the full hour? And if they last for 4 minutes for a full hour, just go in. Do you want me to keep monitoring but just wait until my appointment, because they were gonna hook me up to a non-stress test anyways? You know, what do you want me to do? And she was like, you were already at a 3 for dilation and like a +2 for like 60 to 70%, I guess. She called it a +2 station. And I know what that means, but I don't know the accurate stations, but I was 60 to 70% effaced. She said, you live about 25 minutes away. I wouldn't wait, get your stuff together and just go to the hospital and get monitored. You could be farther than a 3, and if you are, it could progress more and become labor, or it could just be the same thing. So I would say, let's cancel your appointment. I'll tell your doctor, just go to the hospital. So I ended up going to the hospital. Riley met me there and they hooked us up, and as soon as they hooked me up, it went down to 10 minutes. And they just like slowed down. They weren't painful. And so my doctor was like, the nurse said, we're probably just gonna send you home. I probably won't check you because, you know, you're a first-time mom, you probably haven't dilated. But she called my doctor just to verify like I was okay to go home and all that stuff. And he said, well, we were gonna monitor her and check her anyways, so will you just check her cervix again? So she checked and I was 4 centimeters dilated and 75% effaced like 26 hours later. So she was like, oh my gosh, I was not expecting that. I know it can happen, but like I really just didn't expect that. So let's keep you for an hour. You're gonna walk the hospital and then come back and get monitored. So we walked for like 40 minutes, but we were so hungry and we were so tired, and I literally, like, my legs were so tired from walking and doing stairs. So we went back at like 40 minutes and I sat down. They were just back to back. They weren't super painful, but like they were like hurty is what I call them. Like, they're just uncomfortable and hurty. And so she hooked me up. They lasted like every 2 to 3 minutes for 5 contractions, and then went back down to like 6, 7 minutes apart. So she said, you are progressing and that's great. She checked me again. I was a 4, like, but a little bit more, but like still basically a 4. And so in that hour I hadn't progressed anymore, so it wasn't true labor. So she was like, okay, I'm gonna call your doctor. They talked. I ended up going home, and that was that. So Sunday and Tuesday were crazy. Then we just spent the rest of the week like really just finalizing our house and doing a lot of squats, doing a lot of walking, doing a lot of stairs, just eating spicy food. And like, I literally am in a different position right now because I'm sitting on a yoga ball with a blanket, because I like don't want to waste any time. I don't want to just sit on the couch or anything. Like, if I'm gonna be sitting, I want to be in the position where I'm like, you know, helping her drop down and get her out. So for 38 weeks, I gained 28 pounds total as of 38 weeks, and no new stretch marks. Everything's still pretty much the same. No baby. We're just waiting. I'm wearing my Peachy shirt to hopefully get Peaches to come. That is not her name, but that's her nickname, and just hopefully sending out some good vibes. It is currently August 3rd, so I'm 39 weeks and 1 day today. I filmed this yesterday and ended up deleting the clip off my camera, so I have to refilm it, but I will show you guys a belly shot and then end the video. Okay, so that is all for my 38-week bump date. Definitely more of a story time, and depending on how 39 weeks go, if I make it to the 40-week mark where I can film for all of 39 weeks, I don't know if it'll be a story time or if it'll be answering the questions, but I hope she comes today. I hope my water breaks. I hope she comes soon. I just have a really hard time with contractions because I feel them all day. They just aren't painful where I stop talking or, you know, have to like clench something. They're really uncomfortable. I can feel when they start, I can feel when they stop. They are constant, but they keep telling me don't come in unless they're 3 minutes apart for an hour and they're painful or your water breaks. So I'm really hoping that my water breaks, just so I'm for sure and I know I can go in and they won't send me back home. But that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed, and have your bell notification on so that you don't miss any of our future videos, the birth vlog, or any of that. I love you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.